Hello, everyone. My name is Andre, and today I'm sharing my reflections on Plato's Apology, of course, being more of a defense argument rather than an apology itself. Just as a side note, before I begin, this was actually a really exciting assignment for me because Plato's Apology is what got me into philosophy in the first place. And that interest, of course, then led me to joining this course. So it was kind of a full circle moment. Um, the three words that I associate most strongly with the text are convection, wisdom, and justice. Conviction stands out because Socrates is so completely committed to his beliefs, even when facing the death penalty. He doesn't flinch or apologize for who he is, or even actually try to escape punishment. His moral certainty is just unshakable, and that was one of the things that stood out to me the most when I first read this a few years ago. Um, Wisdom, of course, is a central theme to the writing. Socrates famously says that he is wise because he knows nothing at all. That's also something that really stood out to me both when I first read it and then when I read it again. I think it really challenges how we think about knowledge and expertise, and I think it's a really interesting argument to make on his behalf, especially given the circumstances and the position he was in facing the death penalty. Third being justice, not just when I said justice, it wasn't so much just in the legal sense, but in a deeper, more philosophical sense. Socrates questions whether the verdict of the court is just and if the people judging him truly understand what justice means. And I think that raises really important questions about the difference of legality and morality. And that was another thing that stuck out to me when I first read this a few years ago. As for a few questions I had, these are more recent rather than questions I came up with when I first read it. Some of the style kind of confused me. It may just be a result of the translation and the interpretation, but the arguments were kind of presented very dramatically instead of it just being a straightforward argument about what his position is, why he isn't guilty of the things he's being accused of. And I don't really understand at the time and even now why it's so grandiose, I guess is what I'll say. The second question I have was uh, specifically what the meaning is of the quote, what the unexamined life is not worth living. Um, it seems to imply that living a life where you don't evaluate yourself and consider yourself and have like a more deeper philosophical understanding of yourself and your morality isn't worth living. And I guess I don't know if I agree with that. So I guess that's kind of why I put that as a question. It seems kind of dramatic to say that if you are not constantly evaluating yourself and constantly uh, going against traditional norms, that it's not a life worth living. That seems a little dramatic, but I wonder if there's more to it than what I'm understanding it to be. Um, One symbol that stands out to me is the gadfly that Socrates compares himself to. Obviously a gadfly is like a really annoying little insect that stings a horse to keep it awake. And that metaphor is perfect. He sees Athens as falling asleep morally and intellectually, and he sees it as his duty to irritate it into awareness. Thank you very much for listening, and have a good day.